Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Spumelele Zondi. Now, Netflix announced its expansion plan, which includes Africa. It was met with huge excitement by many. As a result of this excitement, we will look at what the Netflix launch means for Africa. South Africa was also disrupted by a number of racist tweets this week. There's information on that as well. The Consumer Electronics Show ended on Saturday. America, we show you some of our favorite revelations from there. Social media celebrity Zulu comedian Tenjiwe Mosley is in studio. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za and email. Let's start with your social media and technology news. Now, another racist has been fired from her job after her words were called out in social media. Many on Twitter have been naming and shaming those they see as racists in the last week. They would even ask their employers to act. Some employers have done just that. But there are also people who have been defending these racist views.
The top trending hashtag in social media is the name of this woman. Her name is Nicole de Klerk. She lost her job from the talent boom in Cape Town after several patrons tweeted about how she used the K-word when referring to a group of black patrons on Saturday. This has been the trend for the last week after black people have been angrily calling out racism in social media and asking employers to act.
People who speak for the company on a regular basis, if those individuals who are representing the company at certain times and then go around and reflect their personal views, which may be hate speech or discriminate against certain groups of people, then in that case the company can go back and have recourse, even though it wasn't their personal time, because this individual has been tasked to represent the company, to be the face of the company. And if they abuse that privilege even in their personal time, then the company needs to act.
De Klerk's racism came after an uproar of tweets about the estate agent Penny Sparrow, who referred to black people at the beach on New Year's Day as monkeys. Idol's judge Gareth Cliff has been fired from the TV show after he said racism is free speech. He later apologized and said he knows the difference between hate speech and free speech. On Sunday, the 3rd of January, economist and Standard Bank employee Chris Hart tweeted about a growing sense of entitlement since apartheid has ended. His employees at Standard Bank have come out to say that they have found his tweet to have racist undertones. They've suspended him and said they're investigating the matter. But some are saying that's not enough and he should be fired for this.
Whilst we acknowledge that they have suspended him, we're saying it's not enough. We want his dismissal. And we're saying the outcomes of the DC process that is taking place must be exactly that. Failure to such, we are calling for an economic boycott on the company.
2016 has just started, but it seems if Twitter conversations are anything to go by, it'll be a very interesting year.
Netflix's massive expansion includes 130 countries. That includes South Africa and Kenya. Though many are excited about this move, one can only wonder if the online streaming site will be as popular here as it is in America.
This is exactly where I am supposed to be right now. The universe.
American online video streaming website Netflix has launched in 130 new territories, including South Africa and Kenya. Many went on Twitter to express how they felt about the move. Despite Netflix's popularity in America, there are still many who aren't aware of what it is in Africa, as this tweet suggests.
Netflix is probably the best known example of what we call streaming video services or video on demand. Basically, they have a huge library of video, including TV series, Hollywood movies, independent movies, and so on. And you pay a monthly fee to get access to that online. So with a service like Netflix, you download an app or you visit the website in your browser, and then you can just click on any movie or TV show that you see on the library, and as long as your subscription is up to date, it will start playing on your tablet, on your laptop, on your phone, on your TV.
Netflix has a variety of shows, including its award-winning productions House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. These won't be on Netflix in South Africa, as they've been licensed out to MultiChoice here. Then there's the problem of the cost and quality of internet in South Africa.
The big problem in South Africa is bandwidth. You're talking about a gig, 2 gig an hour to watch HD content on Netflix. That's a lot if you're on a capped service. If you're on an uncapped service, well, you know, here in South Africa we have problems with uncapped services that it's not always the best quality bandwidth, and you need both quality and quantity to watch something like Netflix.
South African and Kenyan fans of Netflix took to Twitter to bid farewell to DStv, adding that they will be cancelling their subscription. Does this mean that Netflix will give DStv a run for its money?
The other reason that DStv should be frightened, I think, is because of price. With Netflix, you're looking at the prices of $8, $9 or $12 a month, depending on which service you choose. When that's about 100 to 150 rand a month, and you have a massive selection for a fraction of the price of a top-end DStv subscription these days.
Showmax is
But Naspers, which owns MultiChoice, has its own video-on-demand service, Showmax. It's so far struggled to make inroads in the market. There are others like Vidi and OnTap TV. While the future of television watching is digital, and while the number of people who binge watch their favorite TV shows increases, it is likely to be a while still before video-on-demand services become popular in Africa.
The Consumer Electronics Show took place in Las Vegas in America last week. It showed us where the world is going as we saw self-driving cars, the world's first passenger drone, and loads more. Here are some of our favorites from there.
Come fly with me, as in drones. At the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the highlights included the first drones that carry passengers. Derek Xiong heads drone maker Ehang.
The cruising speed, standard speed, is going to be 63 miles per hour, and the cruising time is going to be 23 minutes. So, you know, we're talking about like 20 plus miles.
Cars were also self-driving. Ford showed off vehicles with new sensor technology that allows cars to tackle various terrain in a wider variety of driving situations. And look out, Tesla. There's deep-pocketed competition coming into the electronic car market. California-based Faraday's Futures concept car boasts 1,000 horsepower. Also on the go, robots. Startup company Savioke drew a big crowd for Relay. Spokesperson Adrian Canoso.
I load the item into Relay, and I punch in your location, and he'll autonomously navigate through hallways around people. He'll even use the elevators in buildings.
Facebook's virtual reality company Oculus started taking pre-orders for its Rift headset, which comes bundled with games. The price tag, $599. Studio head Jason Rubin.
We're at that point now where, based on screen technologies and processor technologies and everything that's going on, we can actually trick your eyes. And virtual reality will continue to move. We're going to need to get your sensory inputs, your hands, where you are in space. We're going to have to get your inner ears.
And when it comes time to relax, these new products make life easier at home, ranging from refrigerators with cameras so you can remotely check what's in the fridge, to systems to make your own custom tea, and even brew your own beer.
We've got over 100 craft breweries that have joined with us to produce these Pico packs for the Pico. And the idea is we work with them, collaborate to make these Pico packs, which is everything you need, the grain, the hops, and the recipe, the process control, that will produce craft beer just like they intended you to taste it in the comfort of your own home.
MTN Nigeria has bought Nigeria's surviving code division multiple access network, Visaphone, and Twitter is rumored to be increasing tweet characters to 10,000. This is what's been happening in the rest of the tech space.
MTN Nigeria made headlines in the tech space this week with the announcement of their completed acquisition of internet service provider Visaphone, the only operating code division multiple access network in the West African country's telecommunications industry this week. MTN executive Amina Oyagbola said that the buying of Visaphone was in line with the continued commitment by MTN to improve the quality of broadband services for its subscribers. Now moving on to the Silicon Valley. Rumor has it that Twitter is considering increasing the number of tweet characters from 140 to 10,000. The news, however, did not sit well with tweets who shared their dissatisfaction with this possible move using hashtag 10K that trended most of last week. Now off we go to China. China's Lenovo Group Limited will phase out the Motorola mobile phone brand, industry media reported on January 7th. The media website CNET quoted Motorola Chief Operating Officer Rick Osterloh as saying the company was phasing out the name Motorola and going with just Moto. Lenovo bought Motorola from Google Inc. in 2014 for over $2 billion. Lenovo had hoped that the deal would help the personal computer maker become a global smartphone leader and compete with Samsung Electronics and Apple Inc. Instead, 2014 mobile phone sales fell by 31% from the previous year, mostly due to poor sales in Brazil and China.
It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za and email. After the break, we chat to actress Thenjiwe Mosley about her fame in social media. Stay with us.
Children's rights and health are a priority in the journey of good health.
All children should have access to adequate health care, not only curative but preventative as well.
How to identify ADHD on children.
ADHD is a childhood disorder which manifests with the symptoms of hyperactivity, impulsivity, and/or inattention.
Is breastfeeding still a vital nutrition to babies even today?
Breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life is absolutely crucial.
Catch Health Talk with Dr. Sello Mutawun every Saturday from 9 till 10 a.m.
And I'm Vabakshani Chetty Miller, SAB Miller, and Anheuser-Busch InBev. It's something that I need to learn to say more often.
Will together produce around a third of the world's beer.
It is a mouthful.
Have you ever considered skin bleaching? Nigeria tops the list of African countries with 77% of its women bleaching their skin.
Now I can see that it is not good because it affects my face and some of my body parts.
Thousands of Arab Israelis and Palestinians participated in a big rally.
Flight MH17 was shot down by a Russian-made missile.
How those chips may fall is a prediction best left to the currency of time.
That's Primetime News, Africa Journal, and Your World on SABC News.
Africa's tech scene is constantly coming up with innovative ways to answer some of the continent's problems.
We source content from social media, from our mobile apps, from our website.
And as people move from phone calls to data, companies have to switch what they offer.
People expect to get higher speeds, better quality broadband for less.
On Network, we have information on Africa's technology and social media scene. That's Network with me, Siphumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central African Time, only on SABC News. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email, and it's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Now, Thenjiwe Mosley has been using social media to promote her mostly Zulu comedy. She has been uploading videos on YouTube, and many of these would get shared on Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp. Thenjiwe is now a TV actress in South Africa as a result of this. Let's take a look at one of her clips.
In the name of the mighty Lord. I am Pastor Thenjiwe of the Church of Believers with a lot of extra cash. And I come to you today to share with you the miracle that the Lord Almighty has chosen to give me the power of. Today I will share with you how you can wash all your problems away, how you can melt all your problems away. For only 100 rands, you can come to my church and get this frozen water. This water is frozen by the power of the Lord, the power.
All right, now Thenjiwe tackles various social issues in her comedy and makes fun of just about every situation in life. She joins us in studio this evening. The water's been blessed with the power of the Lord.
Yes, it has.
Now, Thenjiwe, why did you decide to use social media to promote your comedy?
Because I realized that a lot of people were not aware that there was comedy and it was a professional thing that they could go out and watch. And every household has at least one person that has a phone. So that it was my way of getting to people, bringing them comedy to where they are so that they know there is comedy and then they can decide.
So how did it start? Was YouTube your first start with uploading stuff on social media? So it was Facebook first. Yes. All right, can you just tell us about how that happened?
I had just started doing, I had quit my job to do comedy full time. So I had just started doing comedy, but because I was based here in South Africa and in the UK, and at that time I was mostly in the UK, I wanted South African audiences to know about me and to see my work. So the first one I did was the Sangoma. My Sangoma is the best. And I was actually in the UK when I did it. And I posted it. And it was just amazing. And people wanted more. And I realized there was a need for it. So I kept on going.
What year was My Sangoma is the Best? Because it became really popular after radio station Ukhozi FM played clips of it. I believe it was in December 2014.
That's when it was done.
So it was done in December 2014. So in a space of a year, you've switched from using Facebook and then using YouTube as well, and to being a television actress. Do you think this would have been possible without social media?
I think it would have been harder and it would have taken longer. But because of social media, because the good thing with social media, people are there and they comment, so you know immediately. It's like when you do live comedy. People either laugh or they don't. With social media, they can either say they like it or they don't, and they don't owe you any apology. Whereas if people are just at home and then you meet a few friends and family, they're going to say you're good, but you don't know whether they
really know how good you actually are.
Yes. Whereas on social media, people don't care. They don't know you. So they follow you because they want to. They watch your work because they want to.
But social media has a lot of trolls as well, and people who would criticize your work, and they criticize it in a very harsh manner when they do. That's basically the general thing that people do in social media. How do you deal with those critics in social media?
Fortunately, I've had maybe two, and most of them, when you go to their Facebook pages, for example, you can just see that they are comedian wannabe. So in a way, it's that little anger in them, wishing they were doing what you are doing. But mostly it's been well received, and because I talk about things that are relevant to most South Africans, so people identify with my humor.
Looking at clips of that video that we just saw, which you uploaded on YouTube, some people don't realize that some of what you do is comedy, because people are being serious and they're saying, well, we'd never go to that church, or God would never suggest something like that.
That one in particular, I think especially because it's in English, so it's reached a lot more people. Like it was in the newspapers in Kenya where they were warning people. There's another pastor, apparently they have a pastor who does similar things. So they were saying there's another pastor, I think Pastor Nyerere, people must watch out. And even in places like Australia, they were talking about it. Even here amongst like white English-speaking Facebook and Twitter users, they were talking about it. But it also exposed a lot of racism because some people were not judging. Some people got that it was comedy. Some people were blaming the government. Some people were blaming all black people in general, how stupid they are to believe that. So it became such a big debate on social media.
And do you think that social media, because you've tried to be an actress in the past in South Africa, do you think that social media has democratized that space of people that want to break into that industry?
I think it has. I think it has, but it can also be dangerous because you're taking a risk. So people can either love you or your videos can be shared for the wrong reasons. But for me, fortunately, it's been for the right reasons. Like I did my first one-woman show last October, and it was full, and I only advertised through social media. So it's people who know me through social media, people who follow me on social media. They want to know what I'm doing, and they're supporting my work. They support me.
Thenjiwe, can you just tell us about when you then received a call that they wanted you for a soap opera because of what you've done in social media?
I think it was just luck.
Yeah. Were you planning? Did you decide that you were going to now go for an audition, or how did that happen?
I was very fortunate. I think it was just opportunity meeting the prepared. I wanted to act. I studied drama when I was much younger, before I studied law.
Yeah, you actually are qualified because you went to the Durban University of Technology
yes,
to study
I did.
drama. Yeah.
Yes. So it was something I'd always wanted to do. But I think social media made it easy. Because when there was no need to audition me. I mean, I've done how many videos?
Yeah.
They can see what characters I can do. So you can just pick, I wanted to do this character. And so for me, it really worked.
All right. Thenjiwe Mosley, thank you very much. And good luck with your comedy and your acting.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's take a short break. And after the break, we'll go to Congo, where we'll find out about cyber cafes in that country.
Makamelo Sekgonze, one strong woman who said no to hunger. She never allowed circumstances to pull her down. At daybreak, she is up and running in the streets of Johannesburg to make her living. After 12 hours of hard work, she goes back home being able to put food on the table. Join me, Bule Molebatsi, on your show about those who take on and conquer life challenges every Saturday at 5:30.
Health Talk looks into the increase of suicide and symptoms leading to suicide.
The death wish grows when you go into depression after a lot of stress.
And often when we talk about suicide, we don't talk about a person wanting to stop living, but rather wanting to stop living in pain.
After losing everything in life that lead you to no options but suicide.
I had that spirit of fear in me to say, don't even face tomorrow.
After being overwhelmed with stress and trauma, it becomes difficult to have self-control.
People learning tools and skills that will practically enable them to meet these challenges.
In trying times, never be alone. Reach out for help to a better solution.
Support should be done by a counselor or psychologist where you're able to speak about how you're feeling in a safe, accepting, non-judgmental space.
For all your health tips, join Dr. Sello Mutawung every Saturday from 9 till 10.
It's News Network at SABC.co.za. Now, the increase of smartphones have resulted in many internet cafes shutting down across Africa. Up next, we'll go to Congo to find out how the situation is over there.
Cyber cafes are falling victim to the very technology they offer. Recent statistics show over 65% of citizens of the Republic of Congo have access to the internet via smartphones.
To navigate, one no longer needs to go to a cafe. Since the arrival of the sophisticated phones like the S4 and Android phones, you can download several things, so we no longer need to go to a cafe.
Cyber cafe owners have seen a rapid decrease in customers and have resorted to bringing down prices, but customers are still not coming back.
It reflects the fact that mobile phone is really sold at a very affordable price. People prefer to connect with the mobile phone than coming to the cyber cafe, although the price of the connection time has been revised downward.
While formal unemployment levels among the youth in the country remains at a stubborn 25%, local statistic points to a significant decrease in the number of people living on less than $1 a day. Experts point to the smartphone as the main factor behind that trend.
Unemployment is reduced because of the opportunities provided by mobile phones, computers and tablets, which are most popular among the Congolese. But on the other hand, it does not benefit the Congolese state in terms of its trade balance because Congo does not produce mobile phones, tablets or computers. As a result, the state is obliged to import.
Fiber optic cable is being rolled out across many African countries, and there is a growing penetration of mobile phones and data access. This increase of internet usage across Africa is having a huge impact on a variety of sectors. Education, governance, and the growth of small and medium enterprises are all increasingly relying on technology.
Let's see what some people have been sharing in social media. ANC104 has been a popular hashtag in the last week. This is South Africa's ruling party, the African National Congress, has been celebrating 104 years of existence. Gareth Cliff has also been a chatting point as people debate whether he should have been removed as an idol's charge after his tweets defending racist social media posts as free speech. The SA Open golfing tournament has been trending. It has been taking place in South Africa's city of Ekurhuleni. And that's all we have for you. Thank you for joining us. We are on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Newsnetwork@sabc.co.za on email. We leave you with images from the Consumer Electronics Show, which took place in Las Vegas. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one.